So, I'm not a triangle. I'm almost 40, you know? My brain is like long, finished, like whatever brains do between birth and adulthood, you know, to become whatever they are. You know, my brain has finished. My brain is in its final stage before it starts deteriorating. I know who I am, what I like, and what I think of things. And I know what I hate. And I hate fireworks. Like, fireworks are probably the, most, like, premier example of, like, just not giving a shit about other people that exists. Like, there's no greater example of not giving a shit about other people. Like, it completely, like, they completely disregard, you know, so many kinds of people. It disregards people with pets, you know. So many dogs are absolutely horrified by fireworks and can't deal with it. Some cats, not all cats, some cats are the same way. I don't know nothing about, like, rabbits or ferrets or mice or anything like that, but I'm willing to bet that they have problems with it too. You know, it disregards people with, you know, small children that may either be terrified of fireworks or may be just trying to fucking sleep. It disregards people who, you know, work during, like, the day and need to fucking sleep at night. It disregards people, like, fucking veterans with, like, PTSD who hear that shit and suddenly they're back in Iraq, like, getting bombarded. Like, it's just the most, like, disrespectful, like, uncaring thing that exists. And I hate that it's something that is not only socially accepted, but, like, encouraged. I understand, you know, having, like, official fireworks shows in some, like, commercial location somewhere for people to willingly come to and see and hear. But the thing that gets me the most is that, and this is something that gets me about a lot of things, not just fireworks, it's just that there's an absolute complete disrespect. There's a disrespect of like, the rules about it. And there's a lot of laws and rules out there that I think are stupid and don't make sense and are obviously just there for to benefit someone else. But like, the fact that, like, firework laws often exist in many places, but are not only completely ignored by people buying and setting off fireworks, but also ignored by the people who are supposed to enforce the laws, it just makes it like there's no winning. There's no winning. You know? Like, if they want to have them off at some big-ass, like, you know, fairground or a park or someplace, fine, that makes sense. But people shouldn't be able to get away with just, like, going into, like, a residential area and shooting off fireworks in the sky all hours of the night. You know? And it's a thing where it's not like it's, you know, bam, bam, and it's done. No. They will do it for the entire time the sun is down. 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. if they feel like it. And it'll probably repeat a few days out of the week. It's bullshit and it sucks, and the fact that nobody does anything about it pisses me off more than the act of firing it off. I don't know. It's very frustrating. Very frustrating. Heard that? Yeah, I know you heard it. Because it's right here in the neighborhood. And no one does a damn thing. I guarantee you, like a dozen people could call the cops. The cops are gonna come out. Cops don't give a fuck. Cops are worthless fuckheads. We're gonna have to see if the capture device here works. I have a hunch the capture device is not gonna work right off the bat because of the issues it's been giving us in the past, but let's see. Oh. Somehow it's working. It's like literally nothing you can do about it, though. That's the most frustrating part. That's the most frustrating part. You can't do nothing about it. What are you gonna do? Pack up your family and go somewhere where they don't have fireworks? Where don't they have fireworks? Where don't they have it? The cops don't do nothing. Cops don't give a fuck. Do we have an HOA or neighborhood association? They ain't gonna do nothing. I rent. I rent a townhouse owned by some fucking rental company that I've never even like seen like people who work for it like more than like once or twice. You're under arrest for fireworks on the 4th of July. That's literally what I want. That's literally what I want, and I don't think that's like as audacious of a desire as you're making it out to be. If it's illegal to shoot off big booming fireworks, then people should be arrested for shooting off big booming fireworks. I don't think that's an absurd desire to have. I don't think it's absurd to want people to be held accountable for breaking the law in a way that disturbs people. I think that's a perfectly valid want. I'm sitting here like delaying because I don't know what time it is. Be happy it's a Saturday and I'll work tomorrow. Okay, let me go into my daughter's room and tell her that the reason that she keeps getting woken up is because it's a Saturday and she doesn't work tomorrow. There's no valid excuse. It just sucks. People suck. Thanos was right. The Avengers were bad guys. I just typed 24. That's the most read thing you've heard me say. Then I'm Reddit as fuck. I don't care. If half the people disappeared off the earth, it'd be a better place. I just typed 24-hour time into Google, and it like isn't giving me anything. Anything that works. Killing is okay when I want it. You know what? I think I'm smart enough that if I was like judge, jury, and executioner, I would probably make the correct decision like often enough that it would be fine. I feel like if I type 24-hour time into Google, it should know what to give me. It should know what I'm asking for. Did you riff up your car slightly, die? I genuinely feel that way too, and I'm not ashamed of that. It just keeps linking me to charts and shit. $21. I'm going to take your word for it. I'm going to assume it's 21 o'clock. Like, people are getting thrown into, like, fucking, like, prison camps to die for being born with, like, fucking brown skin. Yeah, but they won't do a thing about people firing off fireworks, like, in fucking, like, residential areas. Like, it's fucking ridiculous.
Welcome to Windows 98. Why are you still using Windows 98? What is wrong with you? Stop buying computers from thrift stores, man!
Let's see. Why is the window like that? Okay. The last we left off, this, the boss hut was still crashing. We briefly discussed yesterday, after we had finished Spider-Man 3, we discussed the general plan of how we're going to be approaching this. And I think the idea is,
Mr. Rob.
Sensisto, thanks for subscribing. I think the idea is I need to just find the time to just rip out all the code for the boss fight and redo it. Like, I have the concept of the boss fight, you know, set up. I have the graphics for each of these hands set up. I just have to basically rip out all the code and redo everything for the hands in the boss fight and hope that it doesn't end up crashing again. So I'm gonna have to find the time to do that. And in the meantime, we just have to set that aside and wait till I've done that, and then we can come back to the boss fight and try to, you know, finish it. So now we have to, at this point, we basically have to set this aside, take the boss fight, set it aside, let me deal with the enormous pain in the ass of recoding basically the entire boss fight. And instead, we just start work the next stage, because what else can we do at this point? Not much. I don't like video games. I'm not gonna play a video game. Video games suck. Okay, let's set up some placeholder. The placeholders here, and then set up the next frame. I guess we just copied 1, 2, 3, all 4 frames here. Okay, so just set these up. Placeholder level 6 tally. Placeholder level 6 special stage. Why does it have a line break? Placeholder level 6 to 7. Wrong way. Level 6 to 7 cutscene. Placeholder. Arthur, game over. Okay. And then... oh boy. I clicked... I don't even know what go to does, and I clicked on it. Now there's a square. Okay, well, hope that wasn't important. Okay. Okay, so... Stage 7. Stage 7 is going to be the last normal stage of the game. This is the stage that, if you beat this stage without all of the Chaos Emerald equivalents, whatever those end up being, then the game ends after this stage's boss. With a message telling you to try again. With all the Chaos Emeralds. And if you do beat the stage with all the Chaos Emerald equivalents, then you go on to the final true stage ending, whatever. I think the general consensus is you guys want Bubba. But that means we have to find Bubba. So the first Bubba game was Bubba in the Third Dimension. It was released in 1999, and apparently it runs in the Games Factory. I'm not sure. That would make sense. If it's the Games Factory, though, we probably won't be able to break into it. What is this? Shingo. Hold on, I have to download a virus from Shingo. Why didn't you upload this to LimeWire? I don't understand. Oh, that's a lot of assets. Okay. Let me try to download that. Is it downloading? Where's the... okay, I think it's downloading. Is it? It says 12.5 megabytes out of 12.5 megabytes, but... Oh, okay, no, now I completed. Okay, how do we transfer this over? I've just realized I was searching for Bubba. I found the Bubba wiki. And this is full of shit from the, oh god. This is full of shit from Bubba Fest 2016. Oh, okay. Was it filebin.com we were using? Filebin.net, I think. Let's see. Alright, I'm gonna try to download this file. Filebin.net, and then a whole lot of words. There we go. Alright, we're downloading the file. It's gonna somehow take almost 3 minutes, but I'm gonna blame Filebin for that. Go ahead and blame Filebin. I'm blaming it. Blaming it. All the shit we have in the download manager. Cosby.jpg, masterhand.ping, Final Fantasy VII Sephiroth theme, Doug, Xbox Simpsons Chex Quest, Arthur's Reading Race, Lego Island. I never ended up putting Lego Island on here, which I was trying to do to get to see if I could load the game's videos into Click and Play. I could probably do it now that I'm able to use a USB drive on this computer, but I'm unfortunately sitting in a very comfortable chair, so I'm not going to be able to get up to actually plug the USB drive into the back of the laptop, so unfortunately that's a lost cause. Very unfortunate lost cause. But it is what it is. One minute and 1/2 of 1 minute. Oh boy, I love to download zip files on the internet. I love it. I love to download a zip. Did I actually download Lego Island on my PC? Like my main PC? Let's see, how do you spell Lego? Oh, looks like I did. Maybe I could put it on here. Who's stopping me? Well, I can't do it now because I would have to unplug either my mini router or my Bluetooth Crumbobulator from my PC in order to plug the USB drive in. So I can't do that. Now, there's more USB ports on the back of my computer, but then I would have to get up from my comfortable chair. And I'm not gonna do that. I'm just not. Alright, it's finished downloading. Let's see. Why is this in here? Why is all this in here? Get rid of it! Okay, let's see. Man, this doesn't support previews in Explorer, does it? Oh man, he has a lot of animations. Wow. What's the difference between Bubba Write and Bubba Walk? Bubba Walk's a lot bigger. There's a Bubba theme? Is there? I mean, that's pretty jazzy, but I doubt that it's actually original and Bubba specific. I'm trying to figure out where he got this from, but I don't know. Use Shazam. I don't know what Shazam is. What's this web events button do? Nothing. It opens a browser. That's ridiculous. Okay, Bubba going up. More buildings, cactus. Dr. Butt-Chin. I guess that's a fart attack. Bubba pieces. Okay, well, I mean, there's stuff here. Definitely stuff here. I mean, that's all the basis of Bubba. Now if we want to import it, we have to kind of work out importing all this. Where is... what's it called? Adobe. Where's Photoshop? That's a good starting point. Okay, we only need this part. And we just need to save this as... I think we've been... oh no, save for web. That's how we've been doing this. Save for web. Using the click and play color table. Alright. Now we have to close Photoshop completely, because if I open another file right after doing that, it crashes, and I couldn't tell you why.
Holy crap!
There he is. Save for a weird line on the right. Okay. We did it. It's done. He's here. We did it, everybody. He's alive. Right. Itchy. Yeah. You have... Okay, you ever have, like... Okay, I'm pretty sure, like, some bugs, like, tiny little bugs bit me when I was outside, like, a few days ago. You ever notice how like, scratching, like, tiny little bug bites with your teeth actually feels good? But more than that, have you ever noticed how if you run, like, a bug bite under hot water, it feels amazing? I don't understand why. I don't understand how that works, but hot water on a bug bite is just like... It just... Everything is great. Everything's amazing. Welcome to the bug bite zone. Okay, so we have Bubba here. And, he can walk around. But what if that's not enough? Because here's the thing. There he is, you know? You can fit like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 3/4 of a Bubba on screen, horizontally. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a half Bubbas vertically. That doesn't leave a lot of room for game. Like, it just doesn't. I have something in mind, and I have no idea if it's a reasonable thing to have in mind, or if it's going to work out, or anything. But I feel like I want to try something ambitious, and I don't know if it's really going to work or not. But I still want to try it. So, I just place some objects here. Just whatever objects, okay? So right now, Bubba can't move. We took away his movement. Nothing moves. No movement. Make some counters here. Spacebar and X speed. How they overlap. Y speed. I have no idea if what I'm doing right now is going to be feasible, or if it's going to be what we do. Here we go. Joystick. I'm just remembering the whole joystick thing and how fucked it is in Quick and Play, where overlaps don't register correctly. I genuinely feel like most people on this planet are too dumb to fucking be worthwhile. Alright. Okay. Okay, so while we're holding left, subtract from counter 1. While we're holding right, add to counter 1. Sit in here, subtract and add. General moving thing. Every 1 second, we're going to position. Set X position too. Current X coordinate plus value of X speed. Set Y coordinate. So Y position plus value of Y speed. Okay, that's not quite. Oh god. Okay, so we have a start. These need to be flipped. And the annoying thing is we also need to put in diagonals because everything sucks. Also, every 1 stinky second, if X speed is greater than 0, we subtract 1 from it. If X speed is less than 0, we add 1 to it. And same thing with Y. If it's greater than 0, subtract. It's less, we add. Okay, so we're not moving at all because the every 1 second is counteracting my button presses, which makes sense. That makes sense. I want to check something. How was I handling... Because I know I've handled the input... problem before. The problem is I don't remember how this logic works. I think... what this... I think what this does is this just keeps track of it if you press the primary fire. It doesn't actually factor in directions, right? I think. Yeah. So this shit right here, I only really want this to kick off if the player is not pressing into the direction. And I don't have the option to reverse or negate my button press detection, so we have to do some bullshit to make that work. I'm just sitting here like potentially setting up a huge pain in the ass for myself. Like that's literally all I'm doing here. I'm just sitting here two things. I'm sitting here potentially setting up a huge pain in the ass for myself with what I'm trying to do right here in this game. It's gonna be a pain in the ass for a long time because I'm trying to be ambitious with it. And secondly, I'm sitting here thinking about how even when the stream is over, I'm not gonna be able to go the fuck to sleep because these Neanderthal cockheads are still gonna be making explosions go boom boom outside my fucking window. How can we best do this movement detection? How can I best do the input detection that won't make this a huge pain in the ass for me? Okay. start by deleting what we have here, because we need to be able to wrangle the movement, the button inputs. So I need something to hold on to some alterable values. This is like a fucked up, like, Sega Genesis controller or something. It's called buttons. Okay, so. Every 1 second, we're going to set all these values to 0. Beginning of the frame. Now, we detect inputs. If we're holding right, then we will set value A to 1. If we're holding left, we'll set value A to -1. If we're holding up, we'll set value B to -1. If we're holding down, we'll set value B to +1. Let me swap these two events around so they match what we already have. Okay. Then we have to consider some diagonals, which is going to suck. So if we're moving upright, then we're setting A to 1, but we're also setting B to -1. Yes. Okay. Right. Top. Confusing my brain. Top right, right. Let's do down right. Okay. Down right. Okay. Down right. A gets to be 1, but then B also gets to be 1. Okay, so that makes sense. Down right to down. Down is just B equals 1. Okay, we're doing this. Next is down left. So for down left, A gets set to -1, while B stays as +1. Left is just A is -1. Then we have to have top left, which changes B to -1. Then it goes top. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. That's all 8 directions taken into account. Granted, we still have not taken into account pressing the fire buttons because that world sucks. But for now, we at least have the directions taken care of. Okay. So A is going to equal 0 if left and right is not being pressed. And it's going to equal 1 if right is being pressed, and -1 if left is being pressed. Same thing for B, except we're slotting in up and down. Okay. So, if value A equals 1, which means we're holding right, then every 1 stinky second, x speed, we're going to add 1 to x speed. And that's going to end up going really fast, but we just have to set up the basics before we actually, you know, make it anything that makes sense. Okay, so for the other direction, we subtract. And then, same thing for B. Except for Y speed. Okay, it's still going opposite of the direction that I want, but now we have diagonals working. Okay, so let's flip these around. And let's put an arbitrary cap on this. Say if the speed's less than 3, and for this the other way around. If the speed is greater than 3. And same thing for vertical. And something went wrong. Tracked. Oh, -3. Forgot about the negative value. Okay. Slightly more reasonable. Still temporary, but slightly more reasonable. But there's no, like, momentum. Not momentum, like friction. That's the word I'm looking for. The friction is important. Okay. Do some quick friction here. If A equals 0, every one whatever second, and speed is greater than 0, then we subtract from the counter 1. Other way around, if it's less than 0, then we add to counter 1. And then 1 for B. Okay, now we have friction. So the idea I have, and this might be a stupid idea that doesn't end up working because it's too fucking ambitious. I want to see if it's possible for us to... See, okay, we're moving the objects around Bubba instead of moving Bubba himself. I want to see if it's possible to set up a system where, we force Click and Play to somehow do scrolling by moving objects around Bubba. And this may be way too much. It genuinely may be way too much, but I feel compelled to try. Which is like, I shouldn't be, but I feel compelled to try. And I know I shouldn't be compelled to try. I know this is a bad idea. But I kind of almost can't help myself. The right bumper. This is the left bumper. Let's see if the right bumper is overlapping with an active object 1 and X speed is greater than 0. We'll set X speed to 0. If left bumper is overlapping one of those things and speed is less than 0, we'll do the same thing. That didn't work. In fact, I think we got it backwards. I think that's why. Okay. I don't know why. It's because we're kind of doing the whole logic backwards. What we really should do is flip how we're doing this. Rather than adding the speed to that object, we should subtract it. And then down here, we flop these around. X is less than 3. Wait. -1 is left, so we subtract. Okay. So X is greater than... Okay, we have to flip a few more things, but I think it's going to be more logical if we do it this way. It's going to make more sense in the long run if we do it with the correct value directions. Taking a second to load. There we go. Okay. That's left and right collision. Now, we don't have up and down collision yet, but that is left and right collision. Oh boy, am I really gonna do this? Am I really gonna do this? Bottom bumper. Top bumper. Okay, so bottom bumpers overlapping, blah blah blah, and Y speed is greater than 0, I think. I set to 0. Top bumper, the inverse, same thing. That's collision. Wait, we have to make the bumpers bigger because you can kind of like jam yourself into it, but that's basically the general collision idea. Oh boy. How tall is Bubba? 108. You don't need it to be exactly that high. Hawaii? Be like 96. Should be good enough. Siri, what's half of 96?
1 divided by 2 times 96 is 48.
Idiotic way to calculate that. That's too long. The problem is that Bubba is kind of like not exactly centered the way I want him to be. Bubba's just not centered. In fact, hold on. I need a way to actually tell how big he is. Just to kind of compare. Okay, so that eats up exactly a quarter of the screen, and Bubba is definitely off-center. Okay. We want Bubba to kind of be here. And slide everything over. Something about the bumper still feels off-centered for some reason. I guess we can just literally lower it. Like that. Yeah, that works. Okay. Okay, that's a little more appropriately sized. And Bubba is centered. Oh, okay. Game takes a second to load. When you start it up, that's to be expected. That's how Click and Play works, unfortunately, at least on this computer. Then it's mostly smooth. Okay. You can still clip a little on the corners, but not to an extent that it matters. I mean, that's a super simple collision that just kind of works. The thing that I know won't just kind of work is... I think we're going to have to implement a similar... well, a level loading system that's kind of, in some ways, similar to the one in the Arthur stage, but actually not really at all. Oh, man. Okay, so let me try to explain my current thought process. So, we have the screen. This is where the game happens. Alright. Here's Bubba. Alright. And there's gonna be the stage, obstacles, the walls, whatever, that are around him. Now, we can't really easily place the objects like in the window and have it kind of work in a way that makes sense for two reasons. One, Click and Play doesn't support scrolling. We could expand the frame out to the right and the bottom and manually place stuff. We could do that, but if you scroll things off to the left or the top of the screen, after a while it's going to get automatically deleted. Because it's technically outside of the area where Click and Play keeps track of the objects, and at that point it deletes them on purpose. The second issue with that would be every single obstacle, every single component of the stage would have to be has to be an active object. Normally for like walls, floors, whatever, you would use background objects. You can have more or less unlimited of them. And that consists of the stuff you bump into that doesn't ever move. The problem is, all of the background objects are going to have to move in order to make the illusion of scrolling, so they're going to have to be active objects. And we have a limit of roughly, I think, 255 active objects loaded in at once, so we can't just place a bunch of active objects in the frame, because we're going to very quickly run out of active objects. So instead, we have to implement, I think, a kind of a screen loading feature, I think. So let me try to explain it. So, the center area here, this is the frame we're in. This is what you actually see. In our events, in the game's events, we're going to kind of consider everything to be additional screens. Like this could be screen 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a long ass 4. Here we're on 5. Etc., etc. So, as we move Bubba to the right, towards screen 6, the objects in screen 6 have to load in. So while we're sitting here in the center, we're on screen 5, which is where Bubba is standing. Objects in screen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 should all be loaded in memory. Maybe not 2, 1, and 4, or 7, or 3, because they're off to the left and top, but no, they would have to be to some capacity. And as Bubba moves over to 6, once he's halfway between screen 5 and screen 6, he's right there, all the objects in screens 1, 4, and 7 need to unload themselves, need to delete themselves. Then all the objects in these screens over here that are now visible whatever their identifiers are, these have to load in. We would have to write a system that does this. This could get very complicated. The idea I have in my head, here's the thing. I have not actually played any Bubba games. Bubba was never really my thing. But my understanding is the way that Bubba Goes Number 2 works is you're walking around, like, in a stage, completing objectives, and collecting rewards for completing the objectives. It's basically a top-down view, Banjo-Kazooie kind of thing. So by having a map planned out and set up, I'm pondering if this is going to be feasible. We have to work within the limits of the 300 or so events that we get before Click and Play suddenly shits itself. The theory of this is sound. I just really worry that Click and Play may not be able to handle it. So we're going to have another object or counters keeping track of our virtual X and Y position in the overworld, since the actual X and Y position is just what exists in the screen area. Right now, we're moving these active objects right here. We're moving them according to the speed values that we're getting from pressing the buttons. It seems to be working pretty well. How feasible is this going to be? How feasible is this gonna be? Because I want to try this. It's just, I don't know if it's gonna be a waste of time, because I'm just gonna immediately run into an event limit. Each movable active object, basically every active object that gets loaded in with a chunk of the stage would need to dedicate one of its alterable values to keeping track of which screen of the stage it belongs to. So we would go down from 3 alterable values available per object to only 2. And we would need to keep track of which screen it belongs to, so that if Bubba is far away enough from that screen, we can delete the object. I think. But maybe not. Okay, we need to experiment with this. This is just going to take some fiddling, honestly. I don't know how else to put it. It's going to take some fiddling. Why do these have to be red? Like, why is red the default? And then if you do that, you end up with something stinky. Oops, what did I just do? Okay. X pause, Y pause. How do we translate this basic movement into an X position? Where we can keep track. What if we subtract the speed from the position? Is that going to be right, or am I not thinking hard enough about this? Surprisingly consistent? Is that it? That's all I had to do? That just works? Now I have an X and Y position? Really? It's backwards, but... well, I know why it's backwards, but still. I keep saying it, but the part that upsets me the most is that it's not legal, yet they still won't do anything about it. I wouldn't give a shit that they did this if cops would come out there and fucking beat the fuck out of them. I wouldn't give a fuck. Okay, now it's counting in the correct direction. I'm really surprised the XY position is actually just kind of working. Like, we're consistently getting 168. When we move up into these walls, it doesn't seem to be changing. Or, like, drifting or anything. It seems consistent somehow. Now what do I do? Now I do. Part of the problem is I don't know how. Like, I have a general idea of how this should work, but now I don't know how to proceed from here. Part of the concern I'm having is how to actually set up the screen loads, because obviously it would be based on our X and Y position, our virtual X and Y position that we've just finished coding. Like, for example, the X position. Once we've hit X position 320, we're halfway between the first screen and the second screen, so we're like right here. So logically, we should start loading in objects from this screen. But in order to detect that, we have to have code. We have to have events in place to detect that. So the issue then becomes, we have to sit there and detect, is X position greater than 320? And then we have to do one for going up. Is X position less than whatever? And to the left, is X position less than whatever? And down, is Y position greater than whatever? So that's at a minimum, and I'm not sure, we're probably going to need more, 4 events per screen. Just to tell it to load in the surrounding screens. And that can quickly add up. That can very quickly add up. That event limit could very easily bite us. Let's turn another way. Because the way it is right now, it's like, if X position is greater than 320, then we tick whatever we tick to tell screen squiggly line over here to load in. See, ideally, we would just have a big-ass, array, and we would just tell it if X position is, greater than current position plus whatever. We would do it in a programmatic way, where we don't have to have, standalone individual events per screen. But Klik and Play doesn't really have a good way to do that. Klik and Play doesn't have a way to say if X position equals, certain number divided by 7, then load in the object with the corresponding number to that. Klik and Play doesn't really have a way to do that. And if we do 4 events per screen to load in additional screens, that quickly adds up. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Like a simple 9x9 grid here of 9 screens, which would, by the way, produce a very small level. 9 times 4, that's 36 events. If we increase that by 1 layer, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 times 4, then suddenly it's 64 events. So the bigger the map, the more events we're like chewing up, but it's like multiplicative. I don't know how to say it. But it balloons up extremely quickly if we do it that way. So that might really be the bottleneck here. Is just loading in all the objects for the stage. You know? We just might not have exponentially, that's it. Like we just might not have a way to do that in a way that's cooperative with Klik and Play's limits. I'm trying to think in my head if there's a way around this, if there's a way I can kind of shortcut this, if there's something I can do to take advantage of how Klik and Play works, so that we can kind of get around this. Because even if we don't spawn in the level through events as we move around, even if we decide not to do that, we instead just place the active objects in the frame, then instead of running into the event limit quickly, we're going to run into the active object limit quickly. I'm trying to think how we could possibly handle this. Any feature of Klik and Play that I've forgotten about. Not really gonna... This would be too dirty of a way to do it. This just might not be possible due to these limitations. Just looking at my diagram here and trying to think of any way to get around this. I have some theories I'm throwing around in my head right now, like to get around the 4 events per screen. What if we did actually stretch the frame out? And then at the center of each frame... Oh, okay, no, we stretch the frame out. Divide it into 640 by 480, segments. In the center of each of those 640 by 480 segments, we place one active object in the actual level editor here. That, lowers at the start of the frame. Then we detect if that active object is within this specific loading area right here, represented by this red rectangle. We detect if that center object is within that rectangle. And if it is, then we load in the objects for that frame. And if that center object is outside of that loading rectangle, then we delete all the objects for that frame. The problem with that might be to actually, well, one, we have to make sure that those center objects are actually persistently there and they're not getting fucked up when they go off screen. But then two, deleting the objects could potentially take up more events, because then we have to do an event, you know, if the loader object is outside of that frame, then we have to delete the active object, but only if the active object's identifier matches the loader. But the problem is then checking if it matches that loader. Because Klik and Play doesn't have a good way to say, you know, pick all objects with this specific value. So I think it does. Pick an object at random, pick a random object, pick objects. I'm going to pick objects with reference to their value. Pick objects which alter value A equals 6. Let me test something. We need to pop into our test file. So this loads, and we have to test how that feature works. Just place some objects. Here's a pirate. Here's a gangster. Here's a juggle man. All here being fuckers. Okay, at the start of the level, we're gonna set all of their alterable value A's to 16. Then, if I press the Z button, we're going to pick objects with alterable value A equals 16 and destroy, but right now all the objects have a value of 16 and I'm telling it to destroy everything, so this isn't really a good test. Press Z, they're all gone. But the problem is those are all 16s. Let me try this. That too, robotic vacuum, that's also something that I'm concerned with. Okay, so this thing's gonna follow our mouse cursor. If I click the left mouse button, then we're gonna create a pirate relative to that mouse cursor. Okay, so if I click, we get a pirate. So these pirates should have alterable value A's of 0, because it's only at the start of the frame that we're setting all these guys alterable value A's to 16. So now when I press Z, theoretically only these first 3 guys should get deleted, and the pirates we just created by clicking should not. Okay. Okay. So that's good. Then, let's try this. If I right-click on a pirate, I also want to set his value A to 16. Okay, so we have a bunch of fucking pirates here. I'm gonna press Z. Everything with value A of 16 gets deleted. Good. Now I'm gonna right click on this pirate. Now I'm gonna press Z. He's gone. Okay. So theoretically that is actually working the way I would want it to. Or we can pick objects with a specific alterable value of A. And then delete just them without deleting the other ones. So we might just need... So if we do that, then rather than needing 4 events per screen, that might bring it down to 2? Except then we also need to handle the movement of those anchor objects. When they move outside of the frame. Because if they move too far outside of the frame, those anchor objects that we want to always exist will then get deleted automatically by click and play. Okay, so alternatively, what if we did not have the anchor object in the center of each of the screens of the playfield? What if we didn't have the anchor object and have to deal with it moving off screen? What if instead we just check for the X and Y, the virtual X and Y position of Bubba, and if that virtual X and Y position gets close enough to the center of one of these screens, then that screen's objects get loaded in, and we find a way to set their identifier so that we can then later check if Bubba's coordinates get too far away from that screen and try to delete the objects associated with it. Another possibility. Oh boy. I'm concerned that this is too much. Let me insert a start of level. Oops, not like that. I want a start of level event up there. Okay, so at the start of the level, let's delete all the active objects. Okay, so 640 by 480. 640 plus 640 bring us to here. But we're checking from the center. So we want to check if the screen is within the virtual X position plus 64 plus half of 64. Not 64, 640. 640 plus half of 640, which is like 9 something or other. 960, I think. Let's dick around with this. Let's stick around with this. So if X pause is less than 960, greater than negative 960, let me just make sure. This is a stream where gamers go. I don't know what's happening here. I couldn't tell you. Okay, 960 was correct. Okay, 480. It's 720 somehow. Okay, Y position is less than 720. But greater than negative 720. So theoretically, that would be the test for the center screen. So if this is the case, only once when event loops, so it doesn't just keep happening, as a test, I'm just going to create an active object over here. Okay. And you know, I'm actually going to place counter here. I'm going to set that counter's value to count the number of active objects that are loaded. The active object 1 that are loaded in. So right now it's just 1. There's 1 wall. Okay. If I fuck off, that's going to unload because it goes too far off screen. Yep, it just unloaded. It's at 0. I just realized I can't spawn it like right in the center of the screen. It has to spawn in proportion to Bubba's position. Oh, it has to spawn in proportion to Bubba. That's a problem. Because when you create an object, you can only create it at actual X and Y coordinates. You can't feed it an arbitrary position. we would have to, we would really have to be able to feed it a value. The position of where the object should be according to that screen, plus or minus some value derived from the virtual X and Y position of Bubba. But we can't do that in the create object thing because we don't get the option. We only get static X and Y positions. That throws a bit of a wrench in this. That throws quite a bit of a wrench into this. Huh. Oh boy. The further along we get in this, the more improbable this starts to seem. So we can't create the objects for the stage at a calculated position, then we would need those anchor points in the center of each screen and then create the objects relative to those anchor points, and that's still... That really does complicate this. It really seriously complicates this. I don't know why I thought I could just generate it where it's supposed to be on the frame and it would be correct. It was obviously incorrect. It has to be relative to where that frame center would, that screen center would be, but I don't have it. Ow. Damn it. My hat is like biting my hair somehow. Shit. Shit and damn. Bye, Megastar. Have a good one. I have to brush my teeth. Damn it. This might not be possible. Like, this might not be possible in a way that's, you know, conducive to sanity. That's the thing. Yeah. Yeah, as much as I wanted to try and do like a proper scrolling thing, I just don't think it's gonna work. Not in Click and Play. It's just way too limited. It's just not gonna let us get it done. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to do something different with Bubba. I'm not sure what. Just not sure what. We're over the 2-hour mark anyway. And by the way, they've been firing off those dickhead fireworks for over 2 hours. People don't lose fingers often enough. It sucks. I'm just kind of pondering how we can pivot the genre of this stage into something else. Something else that would still be interesting. Not sure. Not sure. Genuinely not sure. It's weird. I thought that us skipping... Rephrase. I thought us temporarily setting the Fat Albert boss fight aside to move on to the next stage, I thought that was going to make things simpler, but now that I'm sitting here, and my whole idea for the stage is basically null and void. Feels a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. In my head, I'm trying to think if there's a way I can kind of work around this to like do kind of like a 2D overhead, almost Banjo-Kazooie thing, but cram it all on one screen, which would make Bubba very, very tiny. But I feel like if you can see the whole screen, like, it doesn't really work, you know? It just makes the whole stage feel tiny and short. It would be too. It wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be good. We need to come up with a genre that works on a per-screen basis. We already have we have 3 platformers. We have 2 overhead combat-ish things. We have 1 vertical shoot 'em up. Racing game, I don't think would work very well in click and play, because then we would have to do like a fake. It would end up being something like more along the lines of like Rad Racer or something on the NES, where it's not even close to real 3D. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what genre we should go for at this point. We sort of tossed around an idea of a Contra shooter, but we're going to run into similar issues where we're going to run out of active objects if we try to set up a scrolling stage. I mean, we could kind of do it the way we're doing the Arthur stage, where we load in the objects as you move to the right, but I don't know. Puzzle platformer like Flicky? Maybe. It's not the worst idea, I'm just, you know, I don't know. You're acknowledge your idea. The Simpsons stage is almost already Smash TV, sort of adjacent. Like, I don't want to do another one of those. I want there to be potential for the Bubba stage to either be difficult or interesting, because it's gonna be the last regular stage of the game before the true final stage. So I want it to have some potential to be either difficult or interesting. Nothing in mind right now. Head's a blank. Like, there's so many genres of video game out there, but it comes down to which ones work within the limitations of click and play. And so many of them just don't. If you can't scroll the screen, it's like you got nothing. I don't know. I don't know. I might just have to fucking sleep on it, like, think about it for a week. Think about it for a week and then sit back down in the same spot exactly 1 week later. You know, turn the stream on, sit here and say, yeah guys, I didn't have any time to think of anything. I don't know what we're doing. I think the reason I haven't ended the stream for the day is because I don't want to sit here with nothing but the infuriating sounds of Neanderthals sending off explosions to keep me company. I have earplugs, but like I'm just sitting here thinking about like I don't. It doesn't matter. No one cares. Fuck. I'm just gonna keep thinking of genres. I'm probably gonna have to like look at like just other. I'm just gonna have to like look through other old ass games to see if there's any game I see that looks like it would work with click and play's severe limitations. That doesn't end up being something we've already done. We've already done platformers. We've already done overhead games. We've already done a vertical shoot 'em up. I don't know. I'm obviously not going to think of anything right now, so I don't know why I'm still sitting here thinking live on camera. It's not going to get me nowhere. I don't know. I just like... We started the stream, like, pivoting away from the boss fight because we were stuck. I don't want to end the stream stuck in a completely different way. Like, it feels like we made negative progress if we're still stuck after doing something to get us unstuck in the first place. That's what's bothering me right now. It's like... We're sitting at a net negative right now in terms of progress because of this. That's what it is. Okay, how do I do the thing? Let's save. Beautiful diagram. 1 wonderful, beautiful diagram.
Goodbye, stupid. We've had a lot of fun on your crappy computer. Please don't ever come back.
So yeah, yeah. Oh, not happy with how that played out, but well, that's how it played out. So I'm gonna have to come up with more ideas because stuck as hell, and I don't know how to proceed. I'm gonna turn the thing off with my computer mouse. And that's just what I'm gonna do with my very own computer mouse. I'm gonna turn it off. You can't stop me. You can't stop me.